Now call upon the government whip, Armand Terrien.
Mr. Chairman, welcome to the big leagues. Mr. Honorary Chairman, I do admit I'm a bit hesitant to crack a joke about your age, given I've known you all my adult life. Oh. Dear bell boy, I've got nothing but R-E-S-P-E-C-T for your craft. My fellow members of the proposition, who have elegantly illustrated that looking up to your elders does not mean bowing mindlessly to old age.
Here, here.
Misguided members of the opposition, who would recklessly have this House believe in age before beauty, and with very little to show for it, rather than tackling the issue of the hour. Members of the jury, members of the House, good evening. What have we learned so far? We've heard from a few good men in the proposition, who have showed us that not only can we speak truth to power, that this liberty, this disrespect, this creative force is actually what builds civilizations and empires, what makes history, what accounts for all forms of progress, personal, intellectual, social, scientific. In other words, that disrespect is what makes the world go round. You see, this motion does a lot more than simply reaffirming the creed of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. It stands for innovation and disruptive progress. It is the final nail in the coffin of those in the opposition who would rather stare blankly as the train of opportunity leaves the station without them, rather than throwing their cap over the wall. Yes, this motion institutes transgression, promotes creativity, fosters civil disobedience. But it does not do so, as the opposition would have you believe, in an effort to create anarchy. It does so because history teaches us that if we keep moving forward, success takes care of itself.
On that point, sir?
It does so because deep down, we are always students, never masters.
Are elders the actors of this history you're actually referring to and learning from?
Yes, they belong to the in memoriam reel at the Oscars. We are Unfortunately, after the government, we heard from the whole cast of Dynasty here, who neatly wait their turn with the petty hope that one day, by simply outliving the competition, it seems, they too will have their 6 minutes of fame, that one day they too might be part of the government. But enough niceties. All good things must come to an end, and as this debate undoubtedly qualifies as a thing, it's time to sum up the debate, as usual, in a spirit of fairness and objectivity. Yes.
I invite you to turn around and gaze upon your elder, Madame de Pompadour. Does she not fill you with respect, sir?
You're here.
Do you not feel it through every member of your body?
That is usually a sentiment I do leave for the person standing behind me. Thank you very much. David, the Optimus Prime of the proposition. Do not let the looks fool you. He's an old soul. If it helps you think about it, think of him as Yoda. Only instead of being small and green, he's awesome and he wears suits. Like Yoda, he understands that in order to become his true self, Luke had to disobey, had to disregard his advice, had to disrespect his teachings, had to leave Dagobah to save his friends. And compared to that, what did we hear from the government? From the opposition? While the government was making policy, the opposition was busy taking us on a long trip down the yellow brick road of the Wizard of Oz. First, we heard from Dorothy. One word answered Gabrielle. What did she propose? She simply sums up her argument to this. At some point, we are all elders.
Hear, hear.
Hear, hear.
Thank you for the input. That's a bit self-serving, but why not? We then heard from Diane, the first lieutenant to this Justice League of ours. Diane thoughtfully explained that a pinch of disrespect gets you a long way. In fact, it's the only thing that ever leads to progress in the arts, in society, in science. Listening to her, you might have been reminded of this old Renault commercial that played when I was growing up. No, thank you. The ad consisted of throwback pictures to the time when the 4L, the R5, the Espace, the Twingo were first introduced. For each car, an old hag would come up to the screen and say, and dismissively comment, "Ça ne marchera jamais." Well, ladies and gentlemen, the naysayers are here tonight. And yes, you guessed it, they're sitting on the bench of the opposition. Yes.
Do you think we would have had the Renault Espace if we didn't have the Renault 5 before? As it's elder?
And do you think we would have had the Espace if we had stuck to the design of the Renault 5? That's our point. That's the whole motion. Okay. What else have we heard from the opposition in this debate? Well, Omar, since you seem keen of hogging the limelight a little bit, let's go back to your, it comes down to one word, respect.
Here.
And I will never disrespect anyone you said. Well, 2 points. One, you're missing all the fun, and two, you're missing the whole point of this motion. I would direct you to Julia's answer to your speech, where she clearly demonstrated that moving forward may be a necessity, but that it is not easy. If we go to Antoine, the next speaker for the opposition, and his butterfly effect running metaphor, well, I think an apt conclusion to that metaphor will be that by the next 12 minutes, the opposition's performance will be but a bug on the windshield of history. As the point was taken home by Florent and the rest of the proposition, anyhow, I realize that we are getting dangerously close to Roy's bedtime, so I will leave you. I urge you to stay young, stay hungry, stay foolish, stand with the proposition, embrace the motion. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I apologize that your 6 minutes of fame were almost cut short by our bellboy.